y'all. Welcome back. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you guys are having a great day. Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon. In the last 24 hours, both have been fired. So what does that mean? What's it mean to you? What's it mean for cable news? Is it just another sign that cable news is another failed medium or potentially on its way out? Honestly, I do. I think it's going away. Because if you look at cable news in all media, every media platform tries to capture that key demographic. And that's the individuals that are between 18 and 54. Now, thinking about that in today's standards, how many 18 to 54-year-olds do you know that sit at home at night and watch cable news? I can say I don't. I don't know anyone. So who is watching? Well, unfortunately, it's those that are aging out. It's the boomers. Now, if you look at the ratings for these primetime shows on these news networks, they're struggling. Believe it or not, they're struggling. They're going to throw big numbers out there at you, but if you look at it in a big picture, think about this. We are a country of 330 million people. You have news networks that are struggling to get in a primetime spot. They're struggling to get a consistent 1 million viewers. Think about that. When you look at it in a bigger picture like that, that is not a lot. Not a lot at all. You look at MSNBC and you look at Fox. Those were the standards. They were the ones who brought in the highest ratings. Rachel Maddow and Tucker Carlson. Cuomo and Lemon were doing okay at CNN when they were both back-to-back. But the thing is, this isn't about, this really isn't about which network has better ratings or which personality was a better personality. This is actually to show you guys that cable news networks, they're on their way out. And the reason I say that is if you go back and look at the last 10 years, the ratings have been consistently low. Yes, during the election cycles, they have their peaks. But overall, it's been fluctuating, but it's been slowly deteriorating because they can't capture that key demographic. When these networks started, think about this. When these networks started 25 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, that is prime. Think about someone who is 18 to 54 right now, the prime demographic, There is an upstart streaming platform or an upstart streaming news network that's out there. We'll just use the Young Turks and Timcast, for example. All right. They're just starting out. They've been around for 5 or 6 years. They have their loyal followers. They have a few million each, a few million subscribers, a few million viewers. Now, over the time, they're going to have those loyal viewers. And eventually, they are going to be out of that key demographic. So who are those networks going to be marketing to? Is it going to be to new subscribers or the new demographic, the new key demographic? Or are they going to continue to advertise for their core audience, those that are beginning to age out, that have reached the 54 and up crowd? Who are they going to market to? That is the problem with cable news. The people who are watching cable news are those that are on or in the boomer generation. And they're the ones that are beginning to age out. So there's no one for them to market to. Their key demographic in viewership on the major networks, Fox, CNN, they're lucky to get 500,000 views from that key demographic a night. 500,000. Think about that. It's not a lot, especially when you're looking at a country that consists of 330 million people. That is not a lot of people. But they try and throw these numbers out there at you that, oh, we're getting these millions of, viewers a night. Well, yeah, you might get 2 or 3 million viewers a night, but how many of them are in that key demographic? What's going to happen when they age out? Who are you going to go after? Do you think the Gen Xers and the millennials and the Zoomers are going to fill in that gap? No. No, these are failing entities. These are failing entities. And the reason why I'm bringing this up about Don Lemon and Tucker is their firing was probably the best things that could have happened to them. All right. You look at Tucker's show on Fox. Okay. He was a very consistent 4.5 to 5 million views a night. Okay. Don, when he was back to back with Cuomo and CNN, they averaged around 2 million viewers a night. Okay. When you look at that in a big, from a network point of view, it's a lot. But then when you look at it in an actual perspective of this country, the people that are actually viewing it, it's not a lot. So with that, when people tune in to these networks, they're not, at least I will say for myself, I am not loyal to the network. I am loyal to the personality that I'm viewing. I don't tune into Fox to watch Hannity because maybe I don't like Hannity. I'm tuning into Fox because I like Tucker. All right. And just because it's Fox doesn't mean I'm going to like everybody else that's part of that network. It's about the personality. Same thing for CNN. Okay. They're going to have viewers out there that love Chris Cuomo. They're going to have viewers out there that love Don Lemon. Is it because, they got those views because it was CNN? Or is it because of the personalities they put on the screen for people to view and they put their point of view across and discuss the topics that they wanted to discuss? What was more important to the viewer? Is it the network band or the brand, or is it the personality? See, and that's where I think a lot of these networks lose themselves. All right. They want people to follow them for the sake of brand, not personalities. Because eventually what happens, I think, and in this case, the personalities can sometimes get too big for the brand. And I think in this case, with these two, I think that's the case. I think that's what happened. I think Tucker got too big for Fox. He got too big of a voice. They can't have that. Same thing with Don Lemon. When Don Lemon was taken off of his evening show, they had to move him because the personality was becoming too big for the network. Regardless of any of the network struggles that they've had, lawsuits, whatever, that's not the important thing. The important thing is when they let them go, it was actually the best thing that could have happened for both of them. And the reason I say that is you think about this in Don's case. Okay, you're back to back with Chris. All right. Now you're bringing in 2 million viewers a night. Okay. Tucker, he's averaging anywhere from 4.5, like I said, 4.5 to 5 million viewers a night. They get let go. All right. Neither of them are poor. They've both made a very substantial living working for both of these networks. Now, think about this. They probably have like non-competitive clauses in their contracts, I'm sure. But part of their contracts, I'm sure they're going to even get paid out as not a parachute, but just like a severance of some kind. So think about this. After these non-competitive clauses are up, say maybe a year or 2 years, do people think that they're going to stop actually reporting the news? They're not. Okay. Yeah, each side of whatever side you're on, You might be cheering for one or the other one getting fired or whatever. That's all crap. If you think that they're being silenced, they're not. They're actually becoming more powerful, believe it or not. Now, like for Don, for him, think about this. Your clause is up. Your non-competitive clause is up. Tucker's non-competitive clause is up. They both decide to actually start their own streaming network or website. Okay. Don, maybe let's just say Don gets 1 million of his viewers to come over and subscribe to his website or his news network, his own independent news network, where Don can actually report the news how he wants to do it, cover the topics he wants to cover. All right. And just say he throws out there at $10 to $15 in membership for a month. Think about that. 1 million subscribers at $10 or $15 a month. Tucker starts his own network, starts his own studio, has half of his followers come over to him, half of his viewers from Fox. What happens? $10 or $15 a month, 2.5 million people. They're going to get their word out. They're going to report the news the way they want to report it. And who can stop them? Their voice becomes bigger. The limits are actually taking off of both of them. They can report how they want to, when they want to. And if you really look at it too, there are networks out there that are online, on streaming platforms such as YouTube and Rumble. They already get viewership higher than the cable news networks. You have small independent news teams that get millions of viewers daily, all based on 5 to 15-minute clips. So you're going to tell me that Tucker can't do a series of 3 or 4 15-minute clips a day and just think all those are getting views, all of those are getting advertisement, all that revenue on top of his memberships. Same thing for Don. All they did is they just unleashed what they couldn't control. That is all the networks have done. Because the people are loyal to the personalities, not the networks. Because what happens? Say one day CNN decides to go full conservative. The people that are watching now, do you think that they're going to stay loyal to the network just because of who the network is? Nope. Same thing for Fox. Fox decides we're going to go full liberal. What happens? They're going to lose all those viewers. So that's what these networks don't understand. It's not about their brand. It's about their personalities. So to me, I think Don Lemon getting fired, Tucker getting fired, best things that could ever happen to him. And we're going to see, watch in another year or so, right around election time, we're going to start hearing rumblings of a new network coming up from either one of them. Someone's going to start one. And we'll see what happens. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. That's just me. It's how I see it. And, who knows where it's going to go. And we'll see. We're just here for the ride. And I'm telling you this right now, independent media is going to take over cable news. Because, first of all, people don't trust cable news anymore. And everything is overly biased. Everything is to the extreme. And that is what cable news is. It's about getting those views. You can say that, yeah, okay, it could be it could be an Achilles heel to, independent media as well, because you're going to have your, strong biases there as well. But if you look at independent media, it's more of an a la carte. You can pick and choose exactly what you want. Yeah, you'll probably pick a lot of the stuff that's, on your based on your own personal biases and everything, but it's material and content that you want to take in, what you want to view. And that's where regular cable media, cable news is failing. They're behind the eight ball. They're honestly 10 years behind. Because if you really look at, the ratings and how it goes, it follows the advent of social media. It really does. Yeah, we had MySpace in what was it? In the early 2000s. But then when Facebook come out, Twitter comes out, okay, they took over. As soon as those two platforms came out, they took over when it comes to news. The same thing with YouTube. It gave alternative platforms to people find alternative viewpoints. That is what happened. So there is nothing that honestly cable news can do. Many of the networks have already tried, launching their streaming platforms and they've failed. So the future is in the hands of independent media. It's unfortunate that these networks couldn't see it coming because it was sitting in front of their face the entire time. So, like right now, I'm in the key demographic. In another 5 years, I will be out of it. But what is the rest of that demographic going to do? What is it going to look like? What is independent media going to look like when everyone else that's in this key demographic now, what's it going to look like when they're actually starting to age out? Will it be a new rise of cable media or cable news? We don't know. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. That's just my opinion. And if you like it, awesome, good. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe and share it, just trying to get it out there. So hopefully, who knows, maybe it'll be better for both the networks too. You never know. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to let it go. I will talk to you guys soon. And just remember, kids, vote angry, and I love yous. Good night.